fifth jhana. Whereas the fourth is kind of centered in a sense. There was a centeredness here. It's just out to the feelings of the sensations of space in my head. So the sensations, in a sense, the feeling that kind of surrounds the witness. That's the focus.
Yes, it's a very kind of unidimensional focus here. So now I'm not noticing myriad objects as I was in the fourth jhana. Now it's all about that infinitely expanding space.
Yes. However, I can, if I wish, feel the same sensations, same vibrations as the fourth throughout the body, but that's only if I kind of direct the mind to do that.
Yes.
If I don't, then it's all, at least the sensations are mostly in the head, and that sense of the space going out.
Yes, and the body sensations are even, I could even think of them as a distraction from what's most important or most compelling here, which is that concept of expanding space.
Mm. From that jhana, from out here, it zooms in, vroom, to the back of the head, to the middle of the head, towards the back. And the focus is all vroom, right there on the place where, on that presence, a sense of observer, the witness.
Yes, so even if I continue to visualize an infinitely expanding plane, it always loops right back here in an infinite loop, right back to the center. And here I am, this sense of knowing, at the center of the infinitely looping universe.
Yeah. Seventh. I'm going to have to snap out of that one. Seventh. From that presence, from a very centered focus within the head, it's just woomph, out. It's not the same as the fifth, because the fifth, that you're focusing on that space, but here it's almost like there's no focus, but that is the focus of the mind, the fact that there is no focus. And it's just the eyes are unfocused, but the mind is focused on the fact that nothing is focused on. I don't know. It just feels like I'm sitting here and without any intent.
It's a very fulfilling situation for some reason.
Yeah. I have to snap out of it because I can't talk. I really like this one.
Yes.
It's very restful. So I'm snapping myself out of the 8. it's like from nothingness, that there is a focus there in the seventh, but it's like that focus on nothingness. It's still a focus. In here, from there, it kind of all zooms in, and I feel like there's some sort of centering, a focus, or landing on the pineal gland, or whatever that little pressure point is behind the third eye. And then all things just go weird, and like from moment to moment, there's like some perception, and then there's no registering of what's happening, and then the mind is registering what it's feeling, and then not registering, not registering.
Nice.
But there's like the eyes kind of zoom in, almost cross-eyed.
Yes.
Almost lands, and it lands on that pressure point in the third eye, behind the third eye.
Yes, it's the eyes are looking at something in there.
Yeah.
And
So
when they contact it, it's an indescribable situation, and I can't say whether there's anything going on there or not.
It just feels like, for me, this feels like it's not the same as, say, when I would try and get Nirodha and I would have an experience of blipping in and out of a fruition. But there's some relation to, there's something related, something similar there. But not the same. It's not the same.
Yeah, for me the difference is that I don't sense that I'm really ever losing consciousness here.
It's more of registering. Like conceptually registering it.
Yes.
I just gonna have to snap myself out of that one too. After the eighth, it's exhilarating. It's hard to think. It just becomes just then it became very exhilarating and full-bodied with that pressure at the third eye.
It feels like there's a bottleneck of energy, and the energy moves through it to get above it. It's kind of like pushing yourself up through one of those attic access holes. You lever yourself up with your arms, and suddenly you're up in the attic instead of down below that ceiling. And now, from this new vantage point, you're much freer.
Yeah. Yeah, I used the analogy once, I think, in my notes. From the eighth, it feels like you're in the car and all the windows are shut. And then suddenly you open the sunroof and you put your head out, and then there's the wind just hitting your face. And
Nice. Yes.
That's what it feels like.
You get up, you stick your head and your torso up through the sunroof, and then you're out in the open.
Yeah, it feels like you've just come out and the sun is shining down on you. You've just come out of the dark.
Yes. And you wonder why you didn't notice that you were so oppressed before when you were below this threshold.